Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello and welcome to Footy Judgmo, of course. Thank you everybody that joined us. Hit that like button. We got a great preview today. Today we're talking about the Manchester Derby. Is it gonna be a Manchester City train, or there is a surprise in the bag from Eric Ten Hag and the rest for this Manchester City team? They are not flying, but they have won enough to show us that they can get the job done. This Manchester United is different. I'm here with two great guests. Let me introduce the first one. Someone I really appreciate his input in football. I appreciate his football knowledge and how respectful he is about talking about football. Never speaks anything without logic. It's the one and only, of course, the guy that you saw him here before and you liked him and you asked for him again. It's Naji. Welcome, Naji, for the channel. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. How are you doing?
I'm very well, man. Thank you for having me, man. And obviously, shout out to you guys in the comments. Make sure you like and go support my brother Mo, man. I appreciate being here, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Listen, Hamza's making his tea. We're gonna be joined by Hamza, people. He's making tea. But I'm gonna ask Naji, about 50 of you here. Let's get to 50 likes right off the bat. Get involved in the comments. Send your super chats. If you want to support the channel, you can become a member, of course. But the like button underneath your live chat is very important. Hit that like button right away. Big up everybody that joined us already. Naji, how are you feeling? You worried? You nervous?
I'm not worried, and I'm not nervous. I think in order to feel worried and nervous, you must feel hopeful. And I just don't feel any of that. So I don't share those feelings personally. It may sound really boring and sad, but I just haven't got the war in
So
me.
I'm gonna be the Manchester United lawyer today, not you.
Maybe I think that's the case today, bro. Because I just don't see how we get anything from it unless, please excuse me, I don't see how we get anything from it, Mo, when we can't even get decisions on our side. So when everything goes wrong,
What do you mean decisions?
you know, like with
Referees' decisions.
with the VAR,
Ah,
the double standards, like we need consistency within the league, but it just never seems to be it for us. We had 3 penalties last season. It's like, so even when things are going
Naji,
awful,
you literally won the game last year with one of the worst referees' decision I've seen in my life. But let me get Hamza on.
yes, get
Hamza's
him in,
here
get
with
him
us.
in.
How are you doing, Hamza? You good?
I'm doing very well, man. How you guys doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
We're well, man. We're well.
I'm sorry. You just said something, Naji, that is blew my mind. You really think that the referees will be in favor of Manchester City over Manchester United at Old Trafford?
I never said that, never highlighted that. I said simply, I said, I don't have any hope because Manchester United, even when you need a decision to go for you, we won't get them either. So even if you play poor, like I said, we can only get a result against City if a miracle happens in terms of a worldie, a mad goal, or if a decision can go in our way. Nothing like that's going to happen this season either. So, and we've seen countless times where that when we've got Man United fans have got plenty of ammo this season alone, where everyone else, all football fans have been very, very quiet until it's been their team. And they're like, oh my gosh. And we're like, well, we tried to tell you this was going on, but you didn't care because it was United. So, hold else. But like I'm saying, there's no hope for Man United. And where there would normally be hope would be with a dodgy decision for us or a penalty, whatever. I don't think we even get them. So I just don't see how we win this game at all.
Hamza, is there any way Manchester United, honestly, no banter, if you're Manchester, remove your Manchester City hat, think about it from outside. I want to see Hamza, the football knowledge. How can Manchester United win this game? Is there any way, or there is no way?
I think if Man City are very naive, and if Man City are very naive, they shouldn't just go all out attack for United, because United are waiting to counter attack that goal and hit Man City on the counter attack. City need to be patient, but they're gonna play this game of let City come forward, hit the ball long forward to Rashford, and hopefully the pace just outdone City. And teams have caught us up, like Chef Wolves, 2 goals like that, where they were naive. So if Ten Hag's thinking, he's thinking, I need to play like Wolves. I need to counter-attack them like Arsenal how they did. Hit them quickly on the counter and just smash the ball. Yeah, try and just hit any goal, at least shoot it on target. Yeah, and hopefully that it goes in. And I think City should be very, very clever this game. This game, it requires a lot of game intelligence because
Really? I'm thinking this game is easy. Is this a
Light
no, no,
work.
shit?
because no, no,
What is going on here?
Light work for City.
no,
It's bro,
no,
Man
no,
United,
it's a
at
light
least
one.
last year, they had one of the best defenses in the league. This year, they have nothing, bro. It's nothing going their way, bro.
It's facts.
It's nothing.
All City need to
No,
do,
no,
yeah.
but that's
All
what.
It's
City need
play
to do is sit
football.
back. That's it. Even if City just sat back and did absolutely nothing, make us try to play football, and then boom, 2 goals, boom, 3 goals, boom, 4. That's what will happen, bro. Because we won't score. We can't convert. I said this last season, Hamza. Yeah, Man United's biggest issue was putting the ball in the back of the net. Yeah, and I was in crazy conversations with our fan base, and they were just so hell bent on De Gea this. I say no. Statistically and everything else given, we couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And even now, we create more chances and still we can't put the ball in the net. So you don't have nothing to worry about when we go forward. And in my honest opinion, we may get the luck of the green with some of the finishes. They may find form. Maybe that could happen with Rashford, etc. Could just find his boots for once because we know he likes to play against City. But the reality so far, I think it's 80. I think it's 80% 20 to City, no matter what.
I think it's 90%.
I wouldn't argue.
I am like, listen, me sitting here telling you, Man City going to Old Trafford 90%. I have never said that in my life, even at your peak. Like, even the 5-0 that you won, Hamza, the difference is this Manchester
This
United
one.
team is distraught.
True.
Is done. Like, bro, against Copenhagen at home, they look shambolic. It's
They
very
look-
strange. They look so weak. Like, I'm trying to give like props to the underdog. I just can't. There is no way.
But the thing is, yeah, when you underestimate them, like we underestimated Wolves, things happen. The biggest mistake City should do is to allow United to take the lead. We have to take the lead at Old Trafford. We have to. Once we take the lead, it's game match, I think. I think United have to come forward, and we know how shaky they're in defense. So City
I have
should be
another
very
theory,
patient.
and yeah, go on. You should be patient, but I have another theory, and I want to get your opinion. And people call me crazy. I actually think
I
Ten
want
Hag
to,
isn't gonna sit back.
yeah,
No, he
I
won't.
think Ten Hag.
Thank you. You're the first one who agrees with Hamza. Do you think Ten Hag is gonna sit back?
Yeah, I think he's gonna sit back.
So what is this coming from? He hasn't sat back one game this year.
No.
One game.
He's stubborn.
He's not.
One game. He hasn't sat back. Against Arsenal, he didn't sit back. He tried to play football. He tried. That's why they have ball position. I don't care if it's in their half or in the opposition's half. He did not piss the ball away. He didn't. He tried to keep the ball. He tried to play on the ground. I think against Man City at Old Trafford, he's gonna cave. When I mean cave, he's gonna try to press. He's gonna think I can press Manchester City. You don't think so, Hamza?
I don't think so. I think I just can see him thinking
Maybe you think
like
Ten Hag is
he'll be
smart.
dumb. He'll be dumb to attack City. I think he'll be naive. He'll say, "Listen, look what Wolves did. Yeah, Wolves can't attack Man City. Arsenal tried to counter attack Man City several times. He'll say, listen, we haven't got the guys. I think he'll pack the midfield, put Rashford up front, and try and aim us for a counter. You'll see. The
Rashford
first
ain't
15
playing up
minutes,
front. Guaranteed.
Rashford, what?
He won't be playing up front. No way. Hoyland
you
will
think
be playing.
Hoyland's going to start?
Yeah, because his presence alone up front gives us something. Martial was appreciated because his hold up play was great. Hoyland has got the ability to be able to trap a ball, and whilst we're on a counter attack, hold off a man for 4 or 5 seconds at least, and then carry on that counter attack through midway. There's no way Hoyland's not starting for me. Rashford will be playing, I think, but I think he'll be on the left, and I think he'll be trying to at least get through the back lines. But it's whether one, he can stay on side, and two, whether he's got the confidence to play City. But then we already know Rashford's capable of one little moment, and then all of a sudden he can have an incredible game. And he's waiting for that little purple patch to finish. So there's hope, but it's very slim, Hamza, for me.
Would you play Rashford and Bruno? Because they've got a lot of criticism. And United
Yeah,
fans are saying they should play.
the criticism is very much valid for a lot of the things. But I think one thing people don't really appreciate from a football standpoint, and you'll notice if you know you're coaching or other angles, or if you're even in businesses where you have to kind of risk assess things. And I think when your back's against the wall, you've got to look at the pros and cons. I've got no issue dropping Rashford. I've got no issue dropping Bruno, but they also have pros to their game if they're on form. And can you replace those pros if you replace them? So, for example, Bruno, people talk about he's wasteful, this, and this. I'm sick of going around that conversation. I think it's very surface level, given the fact that I always use your man KDB as a prime example, and Trent Arnold, that they give the ball away quite a lot of the time, and KDB says it's pointless. He'd rather get one pass in 10 and make it happen. But to me, that is surface level. However, what you do get with Bruno in terms of the creativity, because he's leading in creativity stats at the moment in the Premier League, if you drop him, where are you going to get that creativity from? It's not going to come from Rashford. It's not going to come from Anthony. It's not going to come from Højlund. So I've got no issue dropping him. But if you've got players in your team that has an opportunity to at least give you something, even if he doesn't give you much for the game, sadly, because we're Manchester United are at the moment, we can't replace those players. So I think Ten Hag's got to do a probability check and go, well, yeah, I need to sub my man, but really and truly, I can't replace what he brings with anybody else. And then, therefore, by default, he stays on. With Rashford, there is a direct replacement in Garnacho, but like we've seen already with Garnacho, he just made the same mistakes last game as Rashford. So we're not in a good place right now, even with the depth. We don't have the depth to replace. And even if we do replace, there's no guarantees that it's going to be better. So it's a catch-22 for me personally. So Bruno starts, Rashford probably starts, given the press conference, and Højlund's definitely starting. The right wing will no doubt be Anthony. And again, he's just going to run past your fullback and then cut it back to say, yeah, let's go again, and then probably lose it or whatever. So
Anthony's not going to play.
You don't think?
No.
Why not?
I think it's going to be McTominay, Amrabat, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Højlund, and Marcus Rashford.
Who's on the right? You're playing Bruno on the right?
Nobody on the right. Bruno Fernandes playing on the right. Listen, so Manchester City, the way they play Gavardiol on the left side. He's kind of a left back that likes to go forward, but he doesn't go forward as much. So you don't need a right winger, actually. You actually need someone in the midfield, right? Because John Stones goes up from the midfield in the halfway line. That's why you need somebody in the area.
Respectfully, Ten Hag isn't gonna.
Ten Hag did it before. He dropped Anthony before. He did it.
Oh no, I'm not saying he didn't drop him. No, what I'm saying, it doesn't matter regardless of Anthony or what. He will play with a right winger. He's not gonna.
The right winger is gonna be Bruno cutting inside.
Potentially, yeah, but he will be playing with a front three, no doubt.
I think actually that the front three will be Bruno on the right. Listen, in my opinion, I actually think that Mason Mount should play this game no matter what.
Yes, I agree.
No matter what. Lots of energy, lots of running, can track back, can follow the counter attack. He's the only one in that midfield with that much energy that can actually help the attack, but also go back on defense. And if he doesn't play him, he's just stubborn and an idiot. That's what I think he is.
He will play Mount. There's no doubt he's going to play Mount because, again, he wants the high tempo. And Man City's midfield, yes, you haven't got KDB, but like I said, the system's perfect. So if your system's nice and you lose your best players, it doesn't actually matter if you lose one or two players. We saw it with City and Gundogan, however you pronounce his name, when KDB was off. Gundogan came in, played like 2 man of the matches, was clutch moments. And that's the only downfall for City this season is that they haven't replaced the clutch moments in Mahrez and Gundogan for me, and that's where they're only weakest. But really and truly, they could get that back in January or they could get it in the summer. Either way, the squad is strong enough, in my opinion, to get a result at any ground. They just may have to work a little bit harder than they did last year to get results, but it's Man City at this moment in time. So really and truly, I just think the energy, you're right, Mo, it has to be in the midfield where we've got that. And Casemiro looks like a doubt. So Amrabat, Mason Mount, probably Bruno in the middle because, again, is a workhorse regardless. So it's not going to be great, but we'll see what happens, man. Shout out to Staffy as well. Just see him in the comments.
Yeah, Staffy. Big up Staffy in the chat, of course. Go give Staffy TV a subscription. They just finished their preview, their internal preview. He did a preview with the Man City, but then they did the echo chamber. You know, when Man United fans get together and they talk to each other, and then we're back, and then like they think nobody's watching them. You know what I mean? Man United fans, they're like together in a stream, and then they think it's only Man United fans. And they're like, if we win Sunday, we're coming for this. We're back. Ten Hag is cooking something. You know, they get together. You think nobody's watching them, bro? We're watching you. We're watching
listen. As a Man United fan, I would love to share the optimism, and I don't fault any Man United fan at this moment in time feeling like, you know what, let's just go with it anyway because we've got nothing to lose. Sometimes you got nothing to lose, you back it, you don't care what anyone says. Because at the end of the day, you can always revert back to, well, it was a long shot and we tried. So, yeah.
Can I ask something? Forget the game. Listen, forget the game, forget everything. Is this the furthest we have seen Man City from Man United ever since the takeover in 2008? It's very genuine. Even you lost 5-0. Didn't you lose 5-0 about 3 seasons ago?
6-1.
The Fergie era.
No. Forget that Fergie era. Fergie era still Manchester United was
no,
still
it was
better.
6-3, I think.
I'm talking about a couple of
6-3.
seasons ago.
6-3 last season.
6-3, like, yeah.
No.
Season.
A couple of seasons ago, there was a 4 or a 3 when
Oh,
Manchester
no.
City,
Oh, no.
yeah, Manchester City took their foot off the gas. Do you remember that game when he started
Haaland bagged the hat trick?
Yeah.
No, that was before
No,
Haaland.
when we were playing tiki taka.
Yes, and I think Pep Guardiola told the Man City players to take their foot off the gas, and people criticized him. You remember that game, Naji?
Yeah.
Bro,
even that season,
so many times.
No. They never did that. But that game, people said to Pep Guardiola that you literally told the players to respect Manchester United. I think that the stadium was
I remember that
empty.
interview. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that. But even that time, I feel, and this is just my personal feeling, the gap keeps getting bigger and bigger, not only on the pitch, on every other aspect. On how the club is back in the community, how the fan base are back in the club, how the club is being run, how the future is looking, how the academy is looking, everything. It keeps getting bigger and bigger. And is this the furthest we have seen ever?
In my opinion, yeah, 100%. It's only going to get bigger as well. I think this is the hard thing for Man United fan base to understand, man. Like, they're living in hope right now. And listen, I'm not knocking anyone that lives in hope because sometimes the reality is too painful. And only a couple of people can kind of deal with that. And I understand that. But the reality for me personally, looking at it, I can't see it getting any better. We need a full takeover, in my opinion, and we need football people running the structure. But it's never going to be. And I've come to that reality. So my expectations are no longer along the lines of big Man United, this. That's just a famous line that is slowly fading each season. So, yeah.
Hamza, let me get the second part of the question. Is this the tides turning for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, I think City, the thing is, they're a very well-run club. They're fantastically well-run. Like, they didn't get here by chance. I think the owners, the structure, you can see the passion from the owners. Yeah, give big up
money,
of
course,
Mubarak and all that stuff. They sit down there as a team, and they've said it in a documentary when you heard that. They sit down analyzing in detail what's happening in academy under 18. For them to have won 3 in a row in the senior team, the EDS under 18 3 in a row, is not by luck. It's not by luck. It's
definitely
something,
not by luck.
Yeah, it's a structure. It's never been done in ever in football, like in English football before. Like everyone wins 3 in a row, and they've done it. And not only that, like if you see the structure of the football group, like how they're doing now we're seeing Girona top of the league in La Liga. Is that by chance? That's not by chance. Like, they're building something. You can see the way that they run their football group is amazing, and it's because as we can say is these guys have got the best people in football to understand how do we get to the top, and they're hungry for more. They're just hungry for more. I've seen it. And they're willing to make changes. I've seen like Calvin Phillips. They don't believe Calvin Phillips is good enough. They're willing to make that change in January because they want to win. They want to win. I don't think, and our manager will never accept second. Pep Guardiola will never accept second. He sees it as a failure. There's a couple of times that he's come second, and we've seen what he does the year after that. For a manager like him, like, he's always won, and he's always been elite as a manager. And I think it comes down to the hunger as a manager, the hunger of the structure of the football club, and they play together as a team, and the fan base are all united. And then you look at United, is the structure's poor, the owner don't care, the fan base are divided, and then you see completely, and you're seeing the tides turning. Like, City are looking into what can we do? How can we win next Champions League? How can we deliver another league title and a Champions League? And
Don't
if they
you think
win,
this is down to Pep Guardiola? Like Manchester United, it was down to Alex Ferguson. Once Pep
yeah,
leaves, it's over.
yeah, yes,
It's
no,
done.
it is done.
It's not gonna be as successful as now without Pep Guardiola. There's only one Pep Guardiola in the world.
But that's what they say. But if
What do you mean?
There
That's
is a
what
difference, though, Mo. There's a difference between Pep Guardiola and Fergie. The people who don't understand, yeah, Fergie built the club as well. He was director of football. He was scouting. He literally was the spearhead of everything. He was walking around canteens. He was walking around the under 18s, etc., and making sure certain things were there. He was that guy. Pep's not
yeah,
ultimately
but nobody can do
responsible
that
for
now.
doing that. So, pardon?
Nobody can do that now. The
No.
football,
But
football clubs are
Yeah.
much
No,
bigger
I
now
understand
than
that.
Harder.
back in the
Hear what I'm
days.
saying. This is what I'm trying to say to you. To have that comparison, you simply can't, because the football has changed, sadly. Now, if you're basing it off success and how they've got their success, I think Fergie's, for again the stretch of his career, is unmatchable, especially even before Man United. You can just see what he did at Aberdeen. It was phenomenal. Beat Real Madrid, Champions League. So, and it wasn't even a Champions League at that time, was it? What was the cup name? Remind me, please.
Winners' Cup.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So ultimately, it's not like Fergie's only had his career at United and it's been blown up. But the difference with Pep Guardiola is in this, and I respect him, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I think he's one of the best tacticians ever in the world. But he knows in this era that a football structure has to be run perfectly, because and I said this to Hamza before, and I think it was on the terrace. I asked him, I said, if Pep Guardiola came to Manchester United right now, do you think he would be as successful? And again, Hamza was respectfully honest and said, it won't be as successful. He may win 1-2 trophies, maybe a Premier League, but that's as far as it will probably get. And the issue is there, that should tell you everything. If Pep Guardiola is the best manager in the moment and he's being compared to one of the greatest managers, if not the greatest manager to ever grace the Premier League, and even he couldn't do a job right now, what does that say about fans who are saying sack Ten Hag, get the next manager in? It says that it cannot be just down to a manager. It has to be down to the structure. You can't win. And I think I said to you as well before, Mo, you won't find a successful team that has been able to dominate that hasn't got a good football structure.
But you don't need to dominate.
No, I'm not. Well, Manchester United, our standards are different.
No. This is because of recent success. Because
Pardon?
of 92. That's the thing. Because our generation, because of 92, what happened in 92 all the way up to 2009, okay? 2002 and then 2009, that 25 years is what made you think that this is the norm for Manchester. Football goes in cycles.
So
Real Madrid.
What about the Busby Babes? Dominated.
What time is that?
50s.
But that's what I mean.
10 years prior. I'd say 10.
No.
20
I think
years
70.
prior.
But that's what I mean, Naji. You had a long period of success, but football goes up and down.
No, I get that.
Manchester City will not be successful forever. Real Madrid.
I'm not saying that. But what I'm trying to say to you is, right, through a lot of our history, through the eras of football, there's been dominance, not just success, dominance. So yes, dominant, and then we fail. Dominant, then we fail. Of course, we knew about the Munich air disaster.
But you think this is the longest?
Yeah,
it's the longest.
But hear what I'm saying. The club, no matter what, always bounces back to go and dominate. Why? Because we know there's an ethos there based on the structure. We're a working man's club, built from the ground up. That's why so many people dislike us, because we did it in such a way that, in my honest opinion, will never be replicated. And this is why we as Man United fans, as a proud Man United fan, we say, well, we didn't throw this amount of money. We earned our money. We were the first self-sustained club where we didn't need owners. So we built this. This club's been built, it's been bashed down. We reset, we go, and we've dominated over that period. That can never be, I don't think that'll ever be replicated again. But that's something to do with our history, our legacy, that we want back. And obviously in this time and age now, we're never going to get that. So if our new owners come in, yes, we may need an oil sheik or whatever. But at least our success has not been built based off an influx of money. It's been based off a genuine history of dominance. We should be able to be dominant. We had all the resources. We had this. Sorry, excuse me. We had the perfect place, in my opinion, to continue dominance until they came in. So those should be the standards for Manchester United. That should be the Manchester United standard. Whatever era you want to go to, that should be realistic. And we should be able to have at least all the things in place, in my opinion, to be able to set the foundation to go and reach dominance. The same way City have done it. Same way Liverpool tried to do it. We should have been doing that. We're no longer privileged to do that. So again, we need to be at that level, and we never will be again. So for me, just winning a Premier League is not enough. I want to win every single trophy, because it's not just my era that I grew up and winning it. There's plenty of eras before Manchester United, before I was even born, that I still had that dominance. And that's after a plane crash. That's after having to restructure and build a club. We should be able to do that. We have the finances and resources to do it, but we don't have the owners and the structure to go and maintain it. So until that changes, I can't have those expectations. But deep down, that's what I want.
Yeah, but okay, so I want to move on. Yes, I get what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
But at the moment, we're looking at the current sheet.
Current, yeah.
Now. Eric Ten Hag, if he doesn't deliver results, does he stay at the club? Manchester United are so big that there is no wait. You cannot wait, right? Should he stay at the club if he doesn't deliver results? If comes December and you guys are 8th, should he stay at the club?
Well, it depends what you want. It's either you want to have a crack at the whip and try to actually get a rebuild done, or you want to carry on and go sack your 9th manager and get the same one in. And then that manager's then going to have to go and try and probably buy a replacement for Mason Mount, replacement for Anthony, maybe a replacement for Onana, just for the simple fact that the style of football may change because we don't have a structure, like I've just said, and a culture that gives us consistency. Please excuse me. The issue with that is, because we spent big money and they're on stupid contracts, we won't be able to get rid of them. So players are outlasting managers. So come next season or the season after, it'll be, let's get rid of that manager. I don't care what manager, sack Ten Hag. Okay, let's say we sack Ten Hag. I don't care who comes in next. Give him 3 to 4 years minimum, regardless. Because Arsenal finished 8th. Okay. Everyone was saying Arteta out. It was 8th again, Arteta out. And then what did they change? One thing in the structure, Edu. Changes the whole way they're moving. They start moving forward. All of a sudden, Aubameyang's out the door. Lacazette's out the door.
With all due respect, Arsenal are not Manchester United.
No.
That's irrelevant. Okay, so what you're comparing is club and club. You just said current situation.
If you are coaching Real Madrid and you don't win, what happens? I don't care about the structure. You get sacked.
Well, you have to care about the structure, otherwise the question.
No, but what I mean is that the structure is there. We know that. Sorry, the structure needs to be rebuilt. The structure needs to be fixed. But at the end, Manchester United are so big that you need results with the rebuild. You cannot just say rebuild without results.
I'm not saying
you cannot be away from the Champions League for years. You can't.
Yeah, but Mo, you're not listening. You're not hearing my point. It doesn't matter if we go and get results. Because of the way we've been ran, because you're not understanding, every manager that comes in has to then undo the issues of the previous manager and the previous manager and then the previous manager. And every time
that's a big mistake.
Hold up. Every time that happens, it's going to take longer for the next manager to go and wipe out those players and then maintain something. So sadly, we have to go back to go forward in this rebuild. Regardless of structure, regardless of club, we have to go backwards. The issue is, no manager lasts more on average over 2 seasons, because the fans get impatient and they aren't prepared to go and sit in the slums and actually undo all of these issues. And that's going to take 2, 3, 4 seasons, in my honest opinion. And that doesn't matter what manager comes in, that's always going to be the case. So it doesn't matter if we're big Man United. Big Man United have issues that other clubs don't have.
Hamza, 2016-17, Pep Guardiola comes in the door. Who do you have on the club?
Yeah.
Who do you have? Do you remember?
Yeah, we had Pellegrini.
After the players that you had Mangala.
We had Mangala, we had Demichelis, we had Mangala, we had Demichelis, we had Kolarov, we had Clichy, we had Bakary Sagna, they were 35 years old.
Yes.
We had Zabaleta, who's 34.
So he signs 4 players.
Yeah.
Right? Man United were winners of the Premier League.
Jack
they weren't winner. They were winners 2 seasons before that.
Scott Sinclair.
13 was our last.
No, Manchester City. I'm sorry, Manchester City. It was Leicester Lear, and then Antonio Conte came in. Right, 16-17. He won the league. So Manchester City had not won the league for 2 years. Right, if I'm not mistaken, or I'm wrong here. Now Pep Guardiola comes in right away, a style of play, and he says, "I want to replace this guy, this guy." But some of the players at the club still played with him the year after when he won the league.
Yep,
that's what I mean. A good manager is the first part of the rebuild
structure.
That's it. That's what we disagree. I disagree with Man United fans because Man United fans said it comes from up there. I'm like, yes, but these are the owners.
Yeah.
The right manager is the first pressure point for you to fix your club. The right guy up there. And you want to tell me if you sign, if Pep Guardiola comes in tomorrow and the club starts winning, the owner will start spending the right money.
Yeah.
No,
Because
he
he's
won't.
gonna force them
No,
to
he
do.
won't.
That's the problem.
he
That's
will.
when I
No,
disagree
right,
with
Mo, let me
Manchester
land it
City,
for you because
United
you missed
fans.
a key thing as well for Man City. He brought Joe Hart was there. He gave Joe Hart 1 season. After that, he goes and gets Bravo. Spent money on Bravo.
But you do
No,
spend
let
money.
me
The
finish.
money's
Let me
not your
finish.
point, Najee.
Let me
I'm
let me land because I'm trying to show you there's parts of a rebuild that you're missing, right? You have to understand that Manchester United, every signing that comes through that door has to work. Do you know how far from reality that is? A manager has to be allowed to get signings wrong, but only at Man United we can't do that. You have to ask why. Because every player that comes in is definitely going to be there for 4 or 5 seasons. And on average, if a manager's only going to last 2 seasons, therefore that player potentially is going to play under 2 or 3 managers in his career at big Manchester United. That is wrong. So therefore, managers aren't getting long enough. Hold up, managers aren't getting long enough to go further. And Bravo, the goalkeeper, he wasn't good enough. Spent money, got rid of him, goes and gets Edison. Manchester United cannot replace players that they get wrong.
Why can't you do that?
Well,
when
we
you
got
spend a
50
lot of
million.
money?
Pardon?
You spend a lot of money. So why
Yeah, but
you spend
again,
as much as Manchester City?
Why are we so focused on how much is spent rather than how it is spent, why it is spent, and the consequences that come with spending the way we spend, given the fact that we can't then replace those players because we don't have footballing people making these decisions. We spent 80 million straight up, not in installments, 80 million straight up on Harry Maguire. He's on 190k a week. What was the main reason we couldn't get rid of him this season? Because of his wage, we'd have to pay him out. Why do we have to pay him out? Because he's got a contract. Now the owners won't sign off on that. Why? Because they see him as an asset. Therefore, that is an issue for every manager that comes in. So every player that comes in on stupid wages, because they don't know what they're doing, means that he's easily going to play under 2 managers. That should not be happening. And if you're going to rebuild the same way that Pep Guardiola gets the privilege to do it, if you're going to rebuild
But that's the problem. That was a choice. If Pep Guardiola is at Manchester United, you won't sign Harry Maguire.
He wanted Harry Maguire. What are you on about?
Like, I'm talking about examples. You know what I mean?
No.
I'm talking about the example.
Interest.
I'm talking about the example. You said we spent 80 million and it didn't work. But if Pep Guardiola's there, you'll sign the player he thinks is gonna work. And sometimes he gets it wrong. He got it wrong for Bravo, didn't he? He got it wrong for other Nolito.
Let me ask you a question. No, let me ask you a question. If Pep Guardiola gets a player wrong, the next season can he get rid of him? You already heard about Hamza talking about what's his name, midfielder. Getting rid of him in January. Can Manchester United do that? And is that not a problem?
But you have. You've done it with several times and several managers. In terms of the thing
several
that
managers,
Guardiola did, he signed El Gundogan for 21 million. He signed Leroy Sané, unproven. He was a good talent at Bundesliga. He signed him. Yeah. He signed Oleg Zinchenko, was 2.5 million. He signed him with Claudio Bravo because he didn't feel that the style of play. And I remember more. I'll never forget this. I wish I recorded that. I'm trying to remember. I think it was the 4-0 we lost against Everton. They asked Pep Guardiola, you have to change your style of play. They asked him in Match of the Day, you have to change your style of play. This is the Premier League. He said, no,
I remember that.
I will never change my style of play. My players have to play my style.
Adapt, 100%.
And adapt my style.
He said he defended John Stones. John Stones kept making mistakes. And he said, it doesn't matter if he makes mistakes. Do you know 100%. Who does this, Najee? Ange Postecoglou. Ange Postecoglou said, I don't care if they make mistakes. They will learn the next game.
Correct. But at Manchester United, you don't get that privilege because it's the most pressurized club to play at. You can go to Tottenham. You can go to Tottenham who haven't won a trophy in God knows how long. Before the car was even invented, and go, you know what? It's okay because the expectations, even Harry Kane told you this himself, the expectations aren't there. So you know what?
So
if you play awful, you've got the time. At Man United, you don't have the time. And I'm asking.
So I'm telling you now. So that's I just asked you, and I said, if Ten Hag doesn't win, does he get sacked? You said no, he needs to be given time.
Yeah, time.
But Manchester United don't give you time. You need.
And I'm saying that's an issue. I'm saying that as an issue. So
you think that's an issue for you?
Yeah, it is an issue. And I also said to you, if Ten Hag gets sold, if Ten Hag gets sacked, cool. But the next manager has to have 4 years because the issues at the club are bigger than just any other club. The reality of being able to if you want to sort this out properly, then we as fans have to accept that we are in a shithole and we need to actually hold all these hours at the moment. But the Man United fan base won't want to do that, and I'm cool with that. But I'm just one who's on the opposite, who's sitting there going, you know what? I'm going to have to embrace this. Because we as Man United fans have been too privileged. I think you said for the past 20, 25 years, we've been so privileged at winning that we forgot about the structure. And now we're being humbled to a level where we're thinking, Ross, now what?
I still disagree with you for a couple of reasons.
That's cool. We can agree to disagree.
Yeah, of course. Eric Ten Hag, I'm going to give my reasons, of course. It's all about logic, of course.
Yes, sir. Always.
Manchester United last year had a great home form that I thought you played a very effective way of playing football. Away from home, you're completely as different players. As it's a different squad, right? And I thought a good manager, all he have to do is transfer 50% of that home form to the away form, and you would not have been sitting here complaining about this and that. You would be saying, no, we're good to go. We're good to challenge for top 4. We're going to be okay in the Champions League. But because of his decisions, I don't care about the transfer market because I don't know about the owners. The owners spend money. You still got Mason Mount. You got Onana for 50 million. Yes, they didn't give him like 200 million, but he still spent money. And at the end, he is the one who coaches these players, and they go on the pitch, they don't perform. I get the whole environment is shit, right? The whole environment is shit.
I wouldn't even go that far.
No, the whole environment is shit. You can tell the amount of problems Manchester United have when a player talks back to the manager calls out a player. You can tell there is shambles.
There's issues.
The owners, they don't know if they want to sell. They don't know if they want to stay. They played the Qataris and they're going to play Jim Ratcliffe, I'm sure. But my point at the end is that at the end, the football on the ground needs to look at least better. And now he complains, I need a signing or two. But he doesn't, it's not happening.
Well, I think the only thing for me, the only criticism I had for Ten Hag, and I've been on blast saying this 24/7, is that he prioritised his signings wrong. I think he was very naive, very, very naive in the way that he went about his signings. Now, it doesn't mean I don't rate Mount or Onana as his signings. I think he needed those type of profiles, not necessarily quality, but profiles to go and absolutely dominate. However, last season, like you said, one of the best defensive records in the league, one of the best defensive records in Europe. Absolutely dominated. The thing that's changed it most, of course, this season is injuries. But what we did need last season was goal scorers, absolute clinical finishers. And I made the statement, and I'll say it again till the cows come home, because people are now actually finally understanding where I was coming from. I simply said that if you bring an owner in, right, we shouldn't have got rid of De Gea. You should have put the money towards more, in my opinion, clinical forwards. Because even with De Gea's mistakes, we still managed to have that defensive record. We still managed to be one of the best in the league. And the issue is, we haven't actually added to our goal line in any way. So let's say Onana, because I even said this, I said with Onana in goal, we will concede more. Not because he's shit, just because he's not as good as De Gea at keeping the ball at the net, who was absolutely instrumental in doing that last season, even with his mistakes, right? But the issue is, we'll probably create more. We'll probably win the ball higher up the pitch if we play the way he wants to do. Statistically, you can go and back that with my word and go, fair play, you got it bang on. The issue is we can't put the ball in the back of the net. So really and truly, what's the point in going with Onana? And this is my point for Ten Hag. Why have you gone with Onana when you haven't got the players or the profiles to actually be able to play your way? And you know, you're more likely probably only going to get one more season at Man United. So he's shot himself in the foot. So for me, he's got the right profiles in at the wrong time. And therefore, we've taken a backward step because now the way we play football now looks different than last season. Because the profiles in those areas have changed, in my honest opinion. Now, Mount hasn't played that many games. And I do believe we've had some performances where we could have won. I think the Arsenal game was a winnable game. I think the Tottenham game was a winnable game. And if you take those 6 points, in my honest opinion, of performance-wise, then maybe we're probably sitting here having a whole different discussion at the same time. The reality of the situation is, ultimately, the results haven't gone our way. The performances haven't been as good. And therefore, it looks worse than probably what it is. And that's got into the players' head who are already fragile and weak mentally. Therefore, we're now at the rock bottom. So, in my opinion, you add goal scorers to this team, we probably won't be sitting here feeling like shit. I'll be honest.
I want to move on a little bit to Manchester City and get Hamza involved. Guys, over 130 of you here. Can we get the likes to 100 likes? It's simple. It doesn't cost you a penny. Underneath your live chat, it's the only way we can get more subscribers in. We can get more views in. The like button underneath it looks like thumbs up. This is it. If you don't know, it looks like thumbs up. Hit that like button. Get us to 100 likes. Hamza, are you as strong as last year?
We're not as strong as last year at all.
Do you
You're
think
right.
any other team are stronger than last year in the league? Do you think Arsenal are stronger than last year? Do you think Liverpool are stronger?
Arsenal are stronger, but they don't look stronger so far.
What?
They look stronger in terms of like the signings they had, but if you look at the style of play, they're just grinding out result. Like they're not like beginning of season last season, they were winning games easily, but now we're starting to see them like 2-1 Nottingham Forest, 2-2 against Fulham. Fulham could have scored last minute
Yeah.
to go 3-2 up. Traore had a chance, I think. Remember, he missed a sitter. They had Man United one. Man United could have won it with Garnacho's goal. Yeah. But just an inch offside, stopped their celebration. They got a corner, got a counter attack. Luck, they've scored. Scored from a deflection. They came back 2-2 against Chelsea. They don't look like that team like before. Like
Is
so,
that the only reason why Man City are favorites? It's because Arsenal aren't as strong as last
yeah,
year.
because we've lost 2 games already.
That
I would
never
say,
happened in Pep's when he lost losing 2 games in the first 8.
yeah, because so far, listen, to
Is this the
lose,
weakest Man City team? Does anybody think this is the weakest Man City team
I
under Pep?
believe I've said it. I've said this is one of
Apart
the
from the first season when he's just getting used to the players.
I think it's weaker. It's not the weakest though. It's weaker.
In Pep's era,
Pep
Manchester City.
Guardiola
Pep's era.
second weakest.
Maybe second. Maybe
First
second
season is the
weakest.
weak. Is the weakest. His first season he had
Yeah, but the first
two
season
right-
doesn't count for me.
Yeah.
For me,
then
he
it's
was
the
still getting
weakest.
used to
Then
it.
it's the weakest by far.
This is the
Weak.
weakest team. So
He
why do
doesn't
people keep telling me that you're favorites?
Yeah, because the thing is the manager's there, no matter what. He's a special manager. He's a winner. From as a player and to a manager, he's a winner. He has gone to every league and batted every league. He's come to this league. He's mastered this league. He's the king of winning, like in terms of, and because of his face is there, he's associated with winning straight away. Pep can go to any league, yeah. Like let's say for example, Serie A, take over AC Milan, and suddenly AC Milan are favorites. It's just that face. He's associated with winning. But in terms of losing Gundogan, losing Riyad Mahrez, we lost KDB already. Yeah, that's major losses. Gundogan was a clutch moment player, experienced player. Yeah, to lose Gundogan and KDB the same time, we had Bernardo Silva missing 3 games. We had then Rodri suspended. Yeah, Pep was tested to the waters this time. It's the first time Pep has been tested to the waters. He was scratching his head and thought, oh my God, Rodri, Gundogan, KDB, and Bernardo at one point were not playing. And those are his starting lineups. And he had to rely on Matthew Nunes from Wolves. This is a recruitment from Wolves. Yeah, no one can brag about Matthew Nunes being a top player. He played at Wolves. Yeah, Kovacic, who Chelsea fans criticized as a midfielder, he had them. He was playing Rico Lewis, an 18-year-old boy who's a right back as a central midfielder. Tell me. So he was tested the waters for him to try Calvin Phillips and seeing not work. Yeah, it's made Pep believe. It's the first time that Pep has believed. Yeah, I'm not believing this small squad number anymore. The quality I have, I don't have the same quality, but I need to make out of it. But he's done well. He's got Julian Alvarez already. He's learning how to be clutch, this boy. Yeah. You guys were saying we don't have many clutch players, but I'll tell you one thing. He's taught Julian Alvarez to be clutch. This boy is clutch. Like he scores big games. He scored big goals. And when he scores bangers, like top corner. Set him up, bang. Yeah. He's played Alvarez with Haaland for the first time. People said they can't play together. He's played Foden. He's recruited Doku. He's transformed Doku. Grealish is coming good now. Last game, he was impressive so far. He can play Grealish and Doku. City fans were arguing whether Grealish is finished. But suddenly I'm hearing Grealish is good. We can play them both together.
Grealish is awful man, at the moment, man. Let's be honest.
No, Leipzig, against Young Boys, he was outstanding. He was
Yeah,
outstanding.
listen, the difference is, Hamza, yeah? Your team right now is, again, up there with one of the best. So the consistency level matters. Grealish has not been as consistent as necessary. Some people can talk about last season before, that's probably okay.
Last season was good.
But so far, it's a big club after treble. You need to, as a big man, and I'll say this again, seeing the Fergie era, I know we've had Sebastian Varane, didn't work out, etc. But then man got shipped. And I think in order to maintain those standards in the club, you sometimes may need to do that. Now, that's a new experience. When you're at top and you're dominating, to maintain that dominance, and doesn't mean just maintain winning, maintain dominance. You have to have those kind of standards. And I'm not saying you need to sell Grealish, but he does need the how can I put it, the harsh criticism that comes with being, ultimately, I hate to say this now, a big team. I'm not going to say big club just yet, but a big team. And Grealish, in my honest opinion, he could be looking to, if this was Fergie, he'd be looking to sell him next season if he doesn't book his ideas up for this season.
No, he's playing with listen, no doubt about it. I'll tell you one thing. He's playing with the wrong manager. Pep doesn't joke around. He's not like Klopp. He's not like Jurgen Klopp. Klopp will hug you as a 36-year-old James Milner and still beg Henderson to stay when the guy wants to go Saudi Arabia. Klopp has this too much loyalty. Pep will throw you under the bus. He will not lose his legacy. He'll not.
You're wrong.
I'll tell you why.
You're wrong. I'll tell you why. Pep Guardiola bought an expensive toy, which is Jack Grealish. He was forced to buy an expensive toy, and last year, right?
I think it was good.
So that's what you think, right?
No, he was one of our best.
I'm gonna tell you the difference. Yeah. I'm telling you, last year, the only player from that squad that it could have been replaced with any other player can do the job, hold the ball, pass it back, it's Jack Grealish. Everybody else, Man City fans don't want to tell us this, right? Because you're protecting your boy, you're protecting your toy, right? But the fact is, you remove Haaland last year, you don't win a treble. You remove Gundogan, you remove even Riyad Mahrez off the bench, you don't win some games. Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, the defense. The only player that it's not only about numbers or output. What Jack Grealish did for you last year, an average or an above average player can do. Hold the ball in spaces, pass it back. That's what you don't understand. That's what Man City fans don't want to say it.
No.
Right? Like Man United fans praising Anthony for his work rate. You're an idiot. It's a winger that needs to get out. You can't even score goals and you're praising my winger for work rate. What is the output? What is the dribbling? What is the creative of the chances? What did Jack Grealish do last year that is different from if I give you Eze, for example? What did Jack Grealish offer last year?
He offered so much. I'll give you an example. See,
the problem is, he scored some goals, against Man United.
A lot of this generation depend on like GA.
No, I'm not saying GA.
Yeah? I'm telling you, as a football guy, he gets the ball. Look how he's so intelligent that people. I see him getting the ball. He drags 3 players out of position.
He doesn't. You do what makes you sleep well at night, bro. They do what makes them sleep well at night.
No, 1 second.
What you do?
The player doesn't know. He's cut. No, listen. He gets the ball on the wing. Yeah. He's so unpredictable.
Who's unpredictable?
He cuts in. The defender
is going on here?
No more.
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm done because I don't want to be you're a guest, so go ahead. Finish.
Yeah, he cuts in. You see the guy left back already. The left back already. He's looking for help. The winger's coming to help him. The midfielder has to drag back because he's cutting on to his position. By the time there's 3 players on him, every time 3 players already are out of position. So what he does, he releases the ball. Gundogan's there. KDB, Haaland, go. But the problem started, Jack Grealish. You have to analyze. For Pep Guardiola, no disrespect. For Pep Guardiola, I'm saying that, yeah? I believe was the greatest manager, who has coached the best players in the world to keep playing Jack Grealish, yeah? Who I believe was our 2nd or 3rd best player last season. Second or third best player.
This is beyond
outrageous.
No,
this is really outrageous, bro.
Are we joking? Our City fan.
You guys are the only people that say that.
No, it's not. Look at the game. Let me give you an example.
Your
Real Madrid.
manager
Real Madrid.
If Jack
publicly
Grealish cost 40
criticized him.
million, you wouldn't be saying this, man. But
No,
because
no,
it costs
Real
100 million,
Madrid.
you're new to it. Like
We
Mo
don't win the
said, it's
treble
right.
without Jack Grealish. We do not win the treble without
The
Jack Grealish.
only player
We
that you
don't
would
beat
have
Bayern
won
Munich
the
without Jack
triple
Grealish.
without is Jack Grealish.
No, not at all. See, the problem is you have to see what he offers, Man City. For Pep Guardiola, I'm telling you, let me give you an example.
Go ahead.
Pep Guardiola, I'll give you an example. Yeah, he's played with the greatest wingers. One side Luis Enrique, the other side Luis Figo. Yeah, he has seen the best of the best, like the best of the best. He has seen what. Now I'm not saying it's Luis Figo. Luis Figo will take on, but Grealish ain't gonna beat you like that. Grealish is gonna take you out position. That's what he does. But people don't analyze that. But because he doesn't have
they
the
see that.
GA, he's
Sorry, go on.
blamed.
Hamza. Sorry, my bad. My bad, man. Carry on,
He's
bro.
blamed for being. Why are you not like Rodri? How come you don't score goals? How come you don't have clutch moments? But people don't see. It's part
He
of the
actually
team.
has clutch moments. He's the
does
one who
have
scored
clutch
against.
moments.
He does have clutch. He won you
Like what
games.
Arsenal?
Again, it's Manchester
He's
United.
not.
He's the one who
You know what
scored
it is,
the
Hamza? He's not as consistent. Like I said, he's not as consistent as what a player should be at a club that is dominating. And this is why Mo's saying you could have replaced him with anyone. Like
He
you
did
really
his.
could.
Okay,
You really
Daniel
could.
is the greatest. He said he did his job. Okay, he doesn't offer something. Everyone at Manchester City offers something different, something classier than
That's what
every
he
other
offers is
player.
different.
Okay,
That's what he
and
offers is
let me do
different.
this super chat to be respectful to Rishi. Rishi, I think the reason Pep has been able to be successful, he has a good director of football who had installed a structure.
Goes hand in hand.
Part of the reason, of course.
Correct.
Part of the reason, of course. Appreciate the support, Rishi, of course. Thank you guys. Over 150 of you here. We're not going for long, but can you get us to 100 likes? There's only 11 likes away.
Come on, guys,
from
likes. Come on, like.
100.
Nice work, man. Yeah, big up the people.
Grealish, do you see that Naji, you were gonna raise a point. I'm not gonna talk because people think I have an agenda. Go ahead.
No, I'm again just as a football fan, and I'm talking from experience being a United fan and being objective with my own club and just seeing the quality. I've seen my manager look at players like Jack Grealish and look at who have qualities, but then they're not stepping up and they're not looking to see the light of the day next season, and that's okay. We have to come accustomed to that. Seen it with Varane, like I said. We saw it with Beckham. We saw it with Van Nistelrooy. It happens. And Hamza, you spoke about Pep Guardiola is witnessed many great wingers, and he has. But you also have to look at the caliber of players that he got rid of as well at Barcelona. Thierry Henry, Ronaldinho, Eto'o. And again, we can make an argument to say they're at the end of their careers and stuff, but he sacrificed big names and big quality who arguably are better than Jack Grealish, to play the style and system that he wanted to do. So I think it's going to be no skin off his nose if he does it with Jack Grealish. And I don't think City fans should feel too precious about it, because ultimately, if you want to maintain dominance, not just winning, because a lot of people think dominance is just winning, like winning game after game, but dominance in terms of being able to grind out results when you guys just ain't there. Do you know what I mean? Finding a way, no matter what, whether you're playing great or not, you're going to need players that can offer you more than Jack Grealish on a consistent basis. And, for me personally, I think he's a weak link. Don't get me wrong. Even if he plays, you're still one of the strongest and probably are the strongest. So it's not that deep. I'm not trying to go that deep on your club. But what I am saying is Jack Grealish is a weak link. So in my opinion, if he played against United, one part of the game which I think we would have on lock is Jack Grealish if Wan-Bissaka played, and against Wan-Bissaka, but I think we'd have him on lock and it would help us just an extra 5%. And when you're a team that is struggling, you take those 5% like they're 100% and you isolate it and nullify things. And I think Jack Grealish is turning into one of those players, bro.
I think the thing is, yeah, if I see the way defensively he was helping, the reason why we've been prone to losing a lot is when Doku doesn't track back. Let me give you an example. West Ham, how did we concede the goal against West Ham? Doku side, he wasn't able to track that.
Yeah, but you're comparing Jack Grealish to Doku.
No, I'm just giving you an example.
Someone who's 28 years old to someone who's 21 years old has never played in a top 5 league in his life.
Against Arsenal, who are contenders, he nullified that side. Saka did not do nothing on that side. Ben White did not do nothing on that side in all the games that he played. Jack Grealish was impressive. He got back, he got the ball, he dragged the ball forward. He managed to get ball. He managed to score Emirates, which was a big goal for us. At home, he nullified. He cooked Ben White. He was getting the one, taking 2 or 3 players out, which allowed KDB to have that free role. He was outstanding. To me, football is a team sport, but you have to analyze in detail. How can we say that he's nobody? So why is Pep picking him?
No,
Why
I
is
don't.
he
No one
picking
said he wasn't
Sancho?
nobody,
I'm
but we're
not
just
saying
saying
he's
that's the
nobody,
way it's going,
bro.
right?
Jack Grealish, if in the young boys game, proved what he can do if he's given the chance or if he's free. Against young boys, he was absolutely brilliant. He was denied 2 assists by his teammates not finishing their dinner. He was absolutely essential to how you went forward. He was good. This is the Jack Grealish of Aston Villa, who was allowed like Kevin De Bruyne. He's allowed to make mistakes. I am, and for me as Mo, I'm not in the freaking dressing room. I'm only analyzing what I see in front of me. People tell me it's Pep, it's instructions. Well, I'm not in the dressing room. I don't know. I only analyze the player I see in front of me. That's all I see. I see Doku. Doku gets the ball. You don't know if he's gonna cut inside, he's gonna cross, he's gonna shoot, he's gonna take it to the line. He can dribble, he can pass, he can do. Doku at the moment can do everything. Maybe still a little bit raw. What did Jack Grealish like? If I'm a defender, I'm defending Jack Grealish. I know most of the time he's gonna cut back and pass the
No,
ball. If I contain Jack Grealish can be contained. That's why we say he's the weakest link at Man
no,
City.
he did.
And because your
Against
team
Real
is
Madrid.
so strong, Jack Grealish this year, if it wasn't for Doku, right there, Jack Grealish would have been exposed because he would be asked to do more stuff because Kevin De Bruyne is not there, Gundogan is not there, Riyad Mahrez cannot help you off the bench. So Jack Grealish was going to have more pressure and more asked from him, and he wasn't going to be able to do it unless Pep release him. That's my point about Jack Grealish. People when I say people overrate, I mean a player can be a 7 out of 10 player, but because the fan base, his own fan base say, yeah, he's a 9, he's a superstar. Well, he isn't. He isn't a bad player. I'm not saying Jack Grealish is a championship player. I'm saying Jack Grealish is a good player, but he was the one replaceable part in the Man City machine last year.
No,
He's Manchester United level. That's Jack Grealish right now.
no, I think I saw this guy against Bayern Munich in Allianz Arena. Yeah, Leroy Sané had to exchange. Leroy Sané and Coleman had to exchange sides because Grealish and Ake
What
were
are you
having
praising here? You're praising defensive or offensive abilities? I'm trying to
defensive
understand
and
here.
offensive abilities. And I'll give
Defensive. You're
you.
praising your winger for defensive abilities?
No. I'm saying that the fact that when we played Bayern Munich in the Champions League, yeah, he played against what's the name, Pavard and Coleman. Yeah, they had to switch sides because him and Ake were impressive together. When they were attacking, they were a threat. When they went back, they were a threat. And Bayern Munich offered nothing on that side. Nothing.
Yeah, but Hamza,
Against Real Madrid.
He's still
did
he's
the same.
praising. He's
In the
saying Bayern Munich
Bernabeu.
for
In the
Hamza, you need to-
Bernabeu. In the
Hamza,
Bernabeu.
2
What did
seconds,
Real
bro.
Madrid do on that side? Nothing. What
Hamza,
did he
2
do to Real
seconds. Just
Madrid
quickly.
side? He cooked them in Bernabeu.
Just quickly. Remember, we started this discussion about Jack Grealish about this season. He's not looking great this season.
This season he's not played.
So no. So what I'm saying to you is what he did at Bayern. We're not saying he hasn't got qualities, and we all saw that. But what we're saying is he's looking like a couple of tiers down from that, and that's unacceptable when you're a dominant club.
Yes.
So yeah, and
Now,
that's what we're saying.
season,
So this season,
this
we're saying like it's not great, and really and truly, why is he being?
Games. He's only played 2-3 games because he's been injured. I think he's been in.
Well, I think
games.
he's been dropped because it's been on. I think he's been. Dropped.
Has he been injured? Is that the only reason? Is that the only? I mean, I don't follow City too. So is that the only reason, or
I don't believe they was dropped. I don't believe they was dropped. Apparently, rumors people saying something, but I don't believe they was dropped because apparently he was not fit enough to play, and I didn't see him in the squad, and he didn't play many games. He's only come back match, and that's why he didn't look ready yet in the previous game. Yeah, and the previous game to that when he came on. But now he looks good. I think we need to give him time, but he needs to step up. Yes, he does need to step up. But I think that for us, the key thing you'll see him again on Sunday in Old Trafford. I saw him doing very well. Old Trafford. In fact, he scored. For him this season, I think he's our main. He has to step up as one of the main guys. But has he got what I needed to do? Like 400 million. Thank you very much. You won me the treble. If he needs to move,
he didn't win you
you
the
didn't win you the
treble.
treble.
I
Come on,
used
man.
the guy that won me the treble. I think I got my 100 million
Well,
Ah,
pounds.
Calvin Phillips is one of the guys that won you the treble. Then
No,
yeah, nah,
Calvin Phillips,
he
no. I
you
think
no,
have to.
no,
You're funny,
Jack Grealish
bro.
played more, to be honest. Yeah, but I think Jack Grealish, maybe he was part of a machine last year and
And-
he did his job. Guys, can I just, guys, 200 people here almost. Can we get the likes up, please, to 150 like button? Do I need to show you what the like button is? It's simple. It's underneath your live chat. Let me just do this quickly so the people know what I'm talking about. Guys, if you're watching the video, you see here, there is the X here. You click this X and then the like button looks like thumbs up. It's this one right here. Hit that like button, get us to 150 likes. It's simple, it doesn't cost you a penny. So we can get more people watching in the like the 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I'm not gonna even stay for long because I don't want to keep the guys for late. I know it's past midnight for you guys. But the last thing is that for Man City, forget Manchester United. Manchester United, win or lose, there's still a lot to be fixed. For Manchester City, if they don't win this game, does it mean anything? Does it change anything about their season? Or are we going to still say it's too early, Manchester City kick off late, blah, 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 all this talk?
I think it's too early. I think it's too early. If we lose this game, it'll be a blow, obviously. But if we lose the game, it's still too early. I think the key thing is to stay with the pack until KDB comes back in January and we get our squad back. I think we will get reinforcement in January. Apparently, rumors we might get reinforcement because I think Calvin Phillips will be off to Newcastle, I believe, and I think his time at City is over. There's no doubt about it. Pep's definitely going to sign. There's no doubt I can see Pep not signing in January. We're already looking in the market. There's names that we've been linked with. Summer will be a massive, massive one for us, especially. But I think if we stay in the pack now, it's November. The next 8 weeks is crucial. Stay in the pack. KDB will probably be back 4 or 5 weeks' time, 6 weeks' time. I think rumors like mid-December. When KDB comes back, that's it. The January run starts because I think the other rivals, I think Tottenham, they're a bit scary, but they just need 2 or 3 injuries. They're finished. I think Arsenal, I think they'll go through to the Champions League round of 16 or quarterfinals when they get knocked out by March. And I think by that time, I think it will hit them hard. Already they're scraping wins. They don't look to be the same like last season. I think that's when it's going to hit Arsenal hard. So if we lose this game, it doesn't change anything because we've got experience. We're the most experienced team in the Premier League so far. We've got the most experienced manager that knows how to win the league. We've got the most experienced players who knows how to win the league. No one's in a better situation than us. And City don't fear. They've done it several times in their history. They've done it with Pep Guardiola multiple times, coming from behind, and they won the league, breaking hearts in the last game of the season with 15 minutes to go. 15 minutes to go, the title's going to Anfield, and they took it away. And that shows you the mentality of this football club and the winner of we have as a manager and our fan base just believing to the last minute. We have this belief that will not give up. But the crucial thing is, I think it doesn't change anything for us. For Man United, if they lose, I think the pressure is on Ten Hag massive. Like to lose against a rival, especially if we lose 2-3-0. My God, I think they'll be incredibly under huge pressure. And especially after they got booed at Copenhagen first half. Yeah. A lot of fans booed their team. I've never seen a team being booed. They booed their team against Copenhagen. And I think the players are under pressure now to win this game for the sake of winning the hearts and minds of their fan base. And Ten Hag knows this is a big game. If I lose this against my own rivals at home, this will be embarrassing because the way they lost against Liverpool last season and then they lost to City in the FA Cup final to let us win the treble and then to let us win again. My God, Ten Hag, I think he'll not take it lightly. I think pressure's on Ten Hag.
Is there any pressure on Manchester United? This is the last question. Is there any pressure on Man United, Naji? Any pressure on Ten Hag?
Always pressure. No matter what. Win, lose, or draw is always pressure.
So you think? So what happens if he doesn't win this game? Does it matter?
Well, it shouldn't, but it will. And the reason I say it shouldn't matter is because, again, from Martin, I'll speak for myself, not the rest of the fan base. The reason I say it shouldn't matter is because I've accepted the process that I feel needs to be done. and I'm happy to stick throughout that and take some L's on the way, as long as we see the 3-4 seasons. But the reality is we ain't going to see that. So take my personal preference aside, based on what I feel needs to happen. Objectively looking at it, he's in big trouble if he doesn't get a result. And if he doesn't get a result, we'll be repeating exactly what happened beforehand. So nothing changes if nothing changes, and this is going to be the same old United. The fan base and the club's too big for us to actually rally together and do what's necessary and right. And again, that's another harsh reality and a difficult reality that I'm not going to spend time arguing with people over. But it is just observing it is what it is. I've accepted that as well. So yeah, the pressure is massive, and even when we win, it's never accepted by media, social media. It's never. Man United have destroyed so many people's footballing childhoods growing up that, and this is what happens when you're successful. People just don't like you when you're, and that's normal. It's part of human life. But what comes with that now is now we're at our down page. You're now seeing it every small headline, undertones. It's always going to be there. But this is why we say we hated, adored, never ignored, and the pressure mo's always going to be there no matter what. And sadly, we don't have the players to step up to that pressure, don't have the mentality, and I don't think Ten Hag is going to be able to get a squad full of that either. So we'll just have to wait and see game by game and see what happens. It's typical United. I'm going to finish on a positive, we could do what we did against Liverpool last season when we won 2-0, and then it's changed our season around. It could be that Man City is our Liverpool. That's what Man United fans are hoping for, me included. And if we get the result, yes, I will be gassed. I will be, taking some, how can I put it? Taking some ammo to some City fans, shall we say, because that's probably the best we're going to get this season, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it's just a game by game. I just hope that we put a good enough performance in, like we did against Arsenal and like we did against the first half against Spurs, to get a result. And I'll personally, speaking for me, one fan of many, I'm just saying that I would be happy if we lost that game, but I saw an actual significant improvement to that. We did everything we could to win that game. That's a starting block for me. But I know some fans may put the result first or whatever. I can't speak for them.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody that watched us. Thank you, Naji, of course, for joining us. Hamza,
Appreciate
of course, thank you, guys. Hamza Talks Football in the description. It's just a link. Go give him a subscription. His watch-alongs are gold. Gold mines, of course. I'm sure you're going to do a watch-along for the Man City game.
Yeah, man. Every time I do watch along, I'm losing, man. I'm not thinking, what am I doing? I jumped on the Arsenal watch along, they lost to Sevilla. I then saw a penalty going to Man United.
Yeah, and then you did Arsenal Sevilla, and Arsenal won.
And then Man United saved that penalty as soon as oh my god.
Yeah, you tried to do the one that you think the other team is gonna lose. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for everybody that watched us. Make sure to hit that like button. Appreciate Hamza, appreciate you, Naji. Thank you, everybody. Turn on the notification bell to know when we go live, so it's easy for you to know the channel. The notification bell is just next to the subscription. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you guys soon. We're out.